Wow.
Okay, so I'll unmute. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So when Trina's looking at this now, she can see exactly what we can see on the screen, right? Okay.
She sees what's over here.
Yeah.
So this is real time for her?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the fine crowd in there now. I'm thinking a lot of wonderful bunch. Look at that.
Yeah.
Amazing. But this is great technology, guys. Well done to staff for working and putting this together. Thank you. It's awesome, especially having COVID, not being able to get there. So thank you. This is really appreciated.
Yeah, because Craig is on the verge, I guess it's not confirmed, but with COVID as well. Two of
Really?
you probably got at the same place.
That's
Call the meeting of Monday, May 16, 2022 to order. Can I have, good evening everyone, by the way, and I'd just like to say that Mayor Scott isn't here this evening. He's got some health concerns going on, so hopefully he'll be feeling better soon. Before I call for the adoption of the agenda, start with Councillor Manning. Do you have anything to add? to go around?
No, nothing
No?
right now.
Okay, Councillor Pollard,
Pass.
Councillor Goss,
Pass.
and Councillor Appleby.
Thank you, please.
Okay. And just to add, this is our first time using Zoom for our public council meetings as well, so thanks to Councillor Appleby joining us tonight by Zoom. And I have a thank you as well. So I call for a motion for the adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Seconded.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Excuse me for 1 second. I'll remind everybody else about this, but I end up doing it myself. Okay. I have a motion for the adoption of the public council meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any errors or omissions in the minutes? Okay. All right, for conflict of interest, I've identified myself. I have in the applications under planning and development. And first I'll call for the first proclamation for Economic Development Week. Councillor Manning?
Okay. Proclamation recognizing May the 9th to the 13th, 2022 as National Economic Development Week. Whereas Economic Development Week is recognized by the International Economic Development Council in 2022 during the week of May the 9th to the 13th. And therefore, the town of Torbay has proclaimed May 9th to the 13th as Economic Development Week in support of this international recognition. And whereas the town of Torbay acknowledges and highlights local efforts by all Torbay businesses and entrepreneurs and their efforts to increase the quality of life in our community. And whereas the town of Torbay recognizes that economic development stimulates and incubates entrepreneurism, is engaged in all levels of settings, including rural, urban, local, regional, provincial, public, and private sectors, and supports the development of a well-balanced quality of life for communities. And whereas the town of Torbay will celebrate Torbay businesses and entrepreneurs through its Torbay Business Awards during Economic Development Week annually.
Now therefore, on behalf of the council of the town of Torbay and on behalf of the citizens of Torbay, I hereby proclaim May 9th to the 13th, 2022 as Economic Development Week. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Now the second motion is International Day of Homophobia and Transphobia, May 17th to the 22nd. Councillor Goss.
International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia. Whereas the Quebec Charter of Human Rights and Freedoms recognizes that no one can be discriminated against on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity or expression. And whereas Quebec is a society open to everyone, including lesbian, gay, bisexual, and trans people, LGBTQ+, and to all other people who identify with sexual diversity and multiplicity of gender identities and expressions. And whereas despite recent efforts towards greater inclusion of LGBT people, homophobia and transphobia are still present in society. And whereas May 17th is the International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia, is celebrated in such as in many countries, as is a result of the Quebec-based initiative promoted by the Fondation Emergence starting in 2003, whereas there is reason to support the efforts of the Fondation Emergence in holding this day and.
Now therefore it is resolved to proclaim May 17, 2022 as International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia, and to recognize this day as such. So moved.
Seconded.
Discussion?
I'll just say a few words there.
Okay.
I think this is a beyond great initiative started back in, I think, 2003. We're in society today is something that inclusion is should be for everybody, and unfortunately it still isn't. But bringing this forth and so we can present it, and for people to realize that it's such, you know, it's in our power to make everybody feel included, and I'm proud to do this here today.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I could jump in there, Deputy Mayor, is that
Okay.
possible? Thank you. I think this is an amazing proclamation, and I just wanted to note that this is very much in line with the work that we're doing at municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador to have the conversation about diversity and inclusion, and make sure that everybody knows that there's a seat for them at a table at a municipal council, and there's a place for everybody in our community. And I think it's very important that we as leaders make sure that people know that, and they know that's what we stand for, and that's what this proclamation does. It tells everybody, no matter who you are, no matter how you identify, you're welcome in Torbay, and this is what our town is about. So thank you to the town for this proclamation. I think this is absolutely brilliant. And I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I very strongly support this proclamation. I think this is fabulous. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Appleby. The last one that we have is proclamation for Provincial Early Childhood Educators Week.
I think we need to vote, Deputy Mayor.
Okay,
It was moved by yourself.
Okay.
By Councillor Cox.
all right. Any discussion? We've already had discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Good thing that you're there keeping an eye on me, CAO. Okay, then for the last one, Councillor Pollard.
Thank you,
And
Your
we
Worship.
have with us this evening as well, Erica Corcoran. She's the board chair of Early Childhood Educators, so welcome.
It is a proclamation for Early Childhood Educators Week in 2022. Whereas the Association of Early Childhood Educators of Newfoundland and Labrador represents those working in childcare and related fields throughout the province, and whereas early childhood educators provide developmentally appropriate care and education to children from birth to age 12 in a variety of settings, and whereas such care and education fosters the social, emotional, cognitive, and physical growth and development of these children and supports families in a variety of ways, and whereas this support of children and families ensures the future health of our society, therefore,
I here claim the week of May 29 to June 4, 2022 as Provincial Early Childhood Educators Week. So moved.
second.
Okay, discussion? I
May I
just,
add a little for a second?
okay,
You know, as a parent of two children who, at the time when I was married, had a husband that worked away, and then now as a single parent, I can tell you the importance of the work that early childhood caretakers have in our community is significant. And for women who want to participate at a municipal council or who want to, you know, re-enter the workforce or anything like that, that support is very important. And I don't mean just for women, but I know for me as a woman, it was certainly something that helped me allow, you know, to get back into the workplace and to participate at council. So I think, again, this is a great proclamation. It's wonderful to see young people being cared for in absolutely safe and professional ways. So we can all benefit in the community and develop, you know, better, stronger communities. So, thank you.
thank you, Councillor Appleby. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Now I'd like to ask Erica to come up and get a picture with all of council. So Erica then holds my signature and then just come up here in the middle, so get all of council. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. We didn't know. Yeah. Yeah. Councillor Appleby's in the background. Yes, perfect.
In the picture
Yeah.
anyway.
It's in the picture anyway. So you can just hold on one side. Thank you very much. Just before Erica leaves, I did ask Gary if she wanted to have to say a few words, but anyway, she'll. No, I've been, yeah, you said it was pretty much covered.
Let everybody know I'm also a business in the town of Torbay, not only the chair. It's called Busy Bee, so I am a commercial business here. So thanks for having me,
Yeah.
and look forward to seeing you guys again.
Thanks very much for
Thank you.
coming
I
in.
got another stop now.
Okay,
See you. Have a good evening.
all right.
Thanks, Tom.
All right.
Okay, so there, no question and answer, so again, there's nothing, and nobody here is got any, Paul, have you got anything that you want to put in? Okay. All right, mayor's report, I'll leave that up to the mayor when he comes back. Business arising, nothing new, no new correspondence. Committees of council, the committee of the whole is there, so need to get a motion to accept this committee of the whole meeting for,
You may wish to step aside for those as well too, because you left at one point in that meeting.
okay, good point. All right, so Councillor Pollard, you're on for that as well.
Thank you kindly. Don't know what to do, eh? Okay, so the minutes for the committee of the whole of May 10th are there for review, and I need someone to move acceptance, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments, discussion?
Question?
Go ahead.
Thanks, Tony. I just wanted to ask, I missed that meeting where I've had COVID this past week. Is it possible to get a copy of the policy that council reviewed so I can have a look through it and maybe get an update on the discussion? Is that possible?
Actually, yes, we can, but the policy wasn't adopted. It came back to, again, for further review before it comes back. So that will come back to council again for acceptance or review.
So just wondering, like, is it something maybe that I can, I'm just not sure who or how to get the update. Would it be best to speak with Don or Julia or the committee? How should I do that to get updated on it?
I think we'd norm to forward you a copy of the policy and whatever it is, and that's about the extent of it. And if you want to speak, I can give you a shout, and if there's any questions on it, and we can go from there and see where
Yeah,
we are.
just so I can get up to date where I missed the meeting, that's all. Thank you, I really appreciate that.
Any other comments, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, on to planning and land use development, as Deputy Mayor Thorne Goss has also declared herself in conflict on these, as there's a permit there that relates to her personally, shall we say. I'll ask that Councillor Goss do the planning and report, please.
So basically, we just have to have a listing here for permit listings for week ending May 12th, 2022 are attached for reference. The following motion is tabled. A motion is to accept 2022 permit listings for the weeks ending May 12th, 2022 as tabled. So moved.
Seconder?
Second.
Any discussion, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Carried, carried. Okay, Don, we can ask Deputy Mayor or Worship to come back, please.
Thank you, Councillor Pollard. I'd just
Anytime.
like to say, the reason why I stepped away from the first one, and the CAO had mentioned to me, for anyone who wasn't at the meeting, that we had the Committee of the Whole the other night, where we talked about the the water allocation policy, that I'm one of the residents that has two dwellings that that policy will be referring to. So for anyone who didn't realize, and only for CAO remind me of it, I would have forgot. So anyway, thank you, CAO, for that. And the next meeting is HR, Administration and Human Resources.
Okay, thank you. So we had our meeting on May the 11th, 2022. Myself, Deputy Mayor Thorn Goss, and CAO attended. The minutes were sent around for review. And I just want to, I guess, quickly point out the recruitment that's on the go, the capital asset mapping technologist, summer positions for recreation and community services, summer positions for infrastructure and public works, and summer positions for the Torbay History House are all progressing well, and some are ready for interviews. Others will have interviews scheduled within the next 7 to 10 days, but by, I guess, the end of May, we should have all the positions filled. And once the positions are filled, the names of the persons will be presented to council, so for our knowledge and for future knowledge, I guess, too. Also, too, there's under the policies and procedures, we have a volunteer policy, which a draft was sent out to councillors, asking for any input or discussion items that they might have. Nothing was received back. So I would like to put forth a motion at this time. I guess I'll just read it out, will I?
Yes.
Okay. The
Thank you.
motion is the Town of Torbay adopt the volunteer policy as presented effective May 16th, 2022. So moved.
Seconder.
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
Okay, any discussion?
If I could.
Sure.
I just want to know, I reviewed that policy and it looks really good. Thank you guys for the work that you put into that. I think having a policy and a framework for, volunteers when they come to give their time and service to the town is amazing. And when I read through, you didn't hear anything back. Otherwise, probably said, good job. I apologize for that one, but I'll do it now. It does look really good. It's very comprehensive and it's very well done. So thank you to committee and staff for your work on that. Thanks.
Okay, and thank you for that, Councillor Appleby.
Anybody else? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, I'll just go on to say that there will be additional policy work coming up, different things that we're looking at to get some policies in place. The gap analysis was brought forward to all the directors and council and scheduled for all staffs. This is going to be a benchmark for future analysis done and to ensure that we're where we should be. Strategic plan is being deferred to the next committee meeting, and that was it for the minutes in the meeting.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
CAO, do we have a date for the strategic plan, a new?
There's a meeting next
Tuesday.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Thank you, Councillor Manning. Okay, the next one is corporate services, Councillor Goss.
Payroll, regular payroll for 40 employees for the 2-week period ending May 6th, 2022, totaled $92,095.90. Accounts payable for the 2-week period ending May 6th, 2022, invoices in the amount of $68,923.35 were processed. Invoices for council approval. There are 5 operating invoices totaling $69,402.21 are presented for approval. Invoice 15122776 to Gnarl Marketing Limited, diesel for depot, $8,245.57. And there's also an invoice for April 29th, 2022 for NL Power, street lighting, $19,929.30. Pension remittance for April 22 with CIBC Mellon, $23,498.84. Invoice number 172784, GFL Environmental Inc., April waste collection and tipping fees, $42,970.41. Invoice S00585556, Harvey and Company Limited, road salt, $12,503.47. Invoice number 2022-011, Lynn Morrissey Culture Review, $11,212.50. And invoice number 2022-010, Lynn Morrissey HR Issues, $15,180. So moved.
Second.
Okay. Discussion?
Just one question, and I don't necessarily need the answer now, just are we up to date on Lynn Morrissey's invoices? Are there any more that are sitting in the queue? And I guess we can have that for our next quarterly update to know exactly where we stand on those dollars.
They are current.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Just 1 second on that, the total doesn't add up in my quick mind. 5 invoices total more than $69,000.
Nope, that would be my fault. I didn't update the top. Should have said 7 invoices, and the total is also incorrect.
Thanks, Norm.
So should we make that change to total? So what should the actual total be?
The total is $133,540.09.
Okay.
Should we change that now to the acceptance?
Well, that was, each individual invoice was read out anyway, so wouldn't that look after that? That's what I was thinking, from an individual.
There was 7 and the total is different.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so what way,
Maybe the easiest is to rescind the motion for 5 invoices for $69,402.21.
okay,
And then bring forth a motion for the 7 invoices for $123,540.09.
okay. All right, so we'll.
So the 7
word
operating
council-
invoices total $133,540.09, so moved.
Second.
But don't we need to
We
rescind?
need to rescind the first one.
First.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Uh,
So.
I guess
we
I
would
put a
rescind.
motion forward to rescind the initial of the five operating invoices totaling at $69,402.21.
Second.
So moved.
Second.
Okay,
Right.
discussion? All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. So then we can go with sorry, Councillor Appleby, were you going to? Okay, she
No,
just said,
sorry,
okay,
Mary,
sorry.
That was my 10-year-old saying goodbye, Mom.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
sorry, my apologies.
All right, see, I got you looking over my shoulder. Okay, so now we can go with the new motion, sorry.
So invoices for council approval, I'll just read out the following 7 operating invoices totaling $540.90. So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion carried. Who seconded?
Councillor
So, looking at, yeah. Somebody from that area.
Councillor Manning, second to rescinding.
Yeah.
We're good on
Okay.
the second one, good?
Yeah.
The following capital invoice in the amount of $10,042.95 is presented for approval. Invoice number G412448, Wood Environment and Infrastructure Solutions, Torbay Road Sidewalks Engineering, $10,042.95. So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And the rest of the minutes and backgrounds are there for anybody's background and per usual. Thank you.
Okay.
We do have two motions here, Councillor Goss, after the report for the donation. And
Oh, yes, my bad.
document number 2.
Yes, my bad, sorry. The rescinding took me off. Motion one, in accordance with the town's donation policy, the Corporate Services Committee recommends a donation in the amount of $150 to Northeast Avalon Deer Committee to assist with costs of the in-school deer program. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion two, in order to replace the municipal cube van in the current fiscal year, the Corporate Services Committee recommends $225,000 budgeted for the purchase of a new rubber tire backhoe and the corresponding loan financing that was included in budget 2022 to be repurposed to replace Unit 02-08 with a new half-ton truck with cab and enclosed trailer. Replace Unit 02-07 with a new mid-size truck. And replace either Unit 02-06 or 02-09 with a new half-ton truck. So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I just want to, I sent an email as follow-up to this, so I don't want to really get into that. And I'm okay with the motion, as long as the total dollar value associated with that $225,000 that we budgeted does not exceed the amount. So it's not $225,000, it'll be more like $30,000, I think, in the financing cost overall. And we already spent money on the repairs and maintenance off a particular loader that is included in this grouping as well. So it's something less than total financing cost for the year of $30,000 once this is approved. That's what, in my mind, goes as anyway.
Anybody else? Okay, all in favor?
Mayor,
Pardon?
if I-
Yeah?
Yeah, sorry, thank you. Just one comment, following Councillor Pollard's comments as well, I think it's important that, I know that we did have a replacement policy and strategy, and that was one of the things that came up in the emails around that. So I'd like to ask, I don't know if that would go under the finance or the infrastructure and public works committee agendas, but I do think it's important for us to go back and revive the discussion around making sure that we have a plan in place for the replacement of vehicles and fleets, and making sure that we're able to have, information ready for this, maybe more accurate information, or however we want to do it. I understood from the email that it was something that we aren't doing now, but I think it's something we should put back on the agenda. So I'm not sure which committee it fits under, if it's infrastructure, public works, and/or finance, or a combination of both working together. But I would like to see that added back to the agenda, please.
Okay, thank you. All right, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And that ends my report.
All right, so that's it for you, Councillor Goss?
It is, thank you.
Okay, economic development tourism. Councillor Appleby, are you giving that report?
I'm wondering, Councillor Manning, would you feel comfortable giving the report? I just received a message from someone that said they were having a bit of trouble hearing me, and it is our first night using Zoom, so I'm wondering if maybe it would be better for the public tonight if Councillor Manning gave the report. Would you mind?
No, absolutely.
Thank you, I really appreciate it.
Okay, so this is an update regarding economic development tourism. The Torbay Business Awards update. The awards was held on Wednesday, May the 6th at the Torbay Commons. Mayor Scott presented a total of 6 awards to the winning businesses, and Barb Hudson from the MHA's office spoke on behalf of Jody Wall. There were a total of 27 attended. Congratulations to all the nominees and winners. The winners and photos of the event are on the Torbay social media site there right now. And so from me personally, congratulations to all. The Torbay Community Market, registration for the August 20th Community Market will open June the 15th through e-services. And an ad will be issued in this month's neat paper for vendors. Under tourism is the Year of the Garden initiative. An ad is going to be placed in the neat ad encouraging residents to participate and to plant red to support the national colour theme. Under new business, EDO Lawrence was invited to be a presenter at an upcoming Economic Development Association of NL meetup on May the 26th, and guest presenters will share advice and experiences with EDA-NL members regarding economic development work. And our next committee meeting is scheduled for May the 19th. And that's that. Any questions or presented?
I just want to say thank you, Councillor Manning, for doing that. And I'd also like to congratulate the winners of Business Awards. I missed that event, but the pictures look great, and it's awesome to see the businesses recognized, so thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Manning. And Councillor Manning, is back to you again now for the History, Heritage, Culture, and Arts report.
One moment, I'll get my paperwork. Okay, where am I to here now? Just let me have a quick look. Glad I had no grandbabies today. Let's see. Okay, I have a motion here that I'll do first, if that's okay. And a brief explanation. On May the 2nd, public council meeting, a motion of council came forward to appoint members to the Museum Advisory Committee. One member could not be appointed due to quorum issues, so tonight I'll bring forth the required motion. Nomination of member for Torbay Museum Advisory Committee. Your Worship, please accept this letter and the nomination contained within for your consideration. I formally request that George Tapper be nominated as a member of the Torbay Museum Advisory Committee. Sincerely, Manager of Heritage, Culture and Information Services. So the motion is nomination of George Tapper to the Torbay Museum Advisory Committee. Be it resolved that the Town of Torbay approve the nomination of George Tapper to the Torbay Museum Advisory Committee. So moved.
Second.
Okay, discussion? I just want to add there that it wasn't only due to the quorum when we had the other members nominated for the Torbay Museum Advisory Committee. It was also due to Councillor Tapper being in a conflict of interest, and therefore if he had to leave, so that's worth noting that he would have been in conflict. So, and George Tapper was one of the original people, residents that had put their name forward, so I just wanted to make that comment. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll go on now that the History, Heritage, Culture, and Arts Committee, we had our first meeting on May the 9th. Deputy Mayor Thorngoss, Chair, Councillor Tapper, Member, and myself as the alternate, and the manager of HCIS and CAO attended. The minutes are presented there, detailed minutes and information packet. And it includes a lot of different things, procedures, manual for the town of Torbay, History, Heritage, Culture and Arts Committee, the museum manager's operational report, including grants applied for and status of same, an interpretive plan outlined, and also too that of, with some excitement, well, much excitement on my part actually, tomorrow we're going to be hosting the Irish Ambassador of Canada, who's going to visit the town council chambers here and History House to be updated on the Mannon project, which is set to be formally launched during the Land and Sea Festival, August the 26th to the 28th. This all happened very quickly. The interest has been generated greatly now, and hoping from this meeting and tour that it will help with funding for the upcoming, continue on with the project and such. Councillor Tapper can certainly speak more knowledgeable on this than I can, but in going through the packet for the minutes, I found it was very informative to me, and I thank the manager Noah for all the for the detailed report actually. So other than that, I think that's all I have. Let me just check my notes. I don't have anything else. No more motions.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mann.
Any questions or concerns? Certainly put it out there.
I have a comment if I could.
Sure.
I just want to say thank you for the information. The last time that I sat around the table, I asked for detailed information about what's been happening and to have more of a framework provided for the public around the History House and what we're doing. And this is very appreciated. So I just want to thank committee and staff again for really stepping up and providing the information that I was looking for here around what's happening, make sure that the public knows. We've had a lot of people who questioned the History House and the work that we've done there over the last number of years that we've been working on this project. And I've always said, you know, the return on investment for this project is definitely something that I think is there. We had, you know, ACOA funding, we had provincial funding, and we're going to have an asset that's going to serve and work in our community for decades and, you know, years and years to come. And this, you know, the Mannion project in particular, the work around that is incredible. Yeah. So thank you for providing that information and putting it out there. I just want to know, I will miss, unfortunately, the ambassador's visit tomorrow. I will be working myself, my regular day job, but I think it's amazing that we're having that visit and we're able to host them here in our town tomorrow. So that's awesome. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Councillor Appleby. Okay, moving on to Infrastructure and Public Works.
Thank you, Your Worship. We met on the 11th of May, myself and Councillor Manning and Director O'Brien. Regrets from Councillor Appleby, who was under the weather at the time and reviving herself from COVID. A lot of the information here is a repeat and updates, and related to the flow meter project, we're still waiting for the meters to arrive, and once they do, obviously we'll start in with the construction of the tanks or the shells to get them installed, so we get a handle on our water. I'm not going to create any more water, unfortunately, but certainly give us a handle on what we already have. The sidewalk project, as everybody notices every day, is ongoing and coming along quite well. It's scheduled to be finished the end of May, although it might be more like the first part of June, but certainly we look forward to getting those sidewalks installed and having the continuum of sidewalk from the school down as far as the northbound road area, whatever, so it was great. A little bit of inconvenience in the meantime. Multi-year capital works project money, we did do some work in relation to the generator project and the consulting fees, and the lowest consulting fee was to Aquathuna Drafting and Consulting Company Limited. So this is the engineering to actually do the mock-up and that for the acquisition of the generator and the install to the community center. So a motion here is motion to award the common generator backup project number 17 MYCW 22-00066 for consulting and engineering work to Aquathuna Drafting and Consulting Company Limited in the amount of $24,074.71, HST included. So moved.
Seconder?
I'll second that.
Discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
The trail development is ongoing. I know we had some discussions, and we'll have some discussions around a portion of the trail dollars that relate to multi-year capital works money, and whether or not we want to spend money on a consultant and things of that nature. But the other small trail we talked about at the end of last year is complete down to Western Island Pond, I think, from Forest River Road, and there's pictures of that there attached. So that smaller one has been completed already within the money we had left over from last year. The one that's going to bring us to the bypass road from Streamside will be continuing as soon as Grand Concourse gets down there again. We will be in contact with that property owner. As you know, there was we stopped last year because of concerns around where the property actually is in relation to the river and how the river actually moves, and whether or not we wanted to put additional bridges there or actually move along the perimeter. So the decision was to continue moving along the perimeter, fill in the small hole that's there, or small pool of the river that's there, and continue the trail down along there to come back out to the Outer Ring Road. In relation to the annual line painting contract, as with every year we go out to tender to get our bids for line painting. So we have a motion to award the line painting contract for 2022 to Tough Coat in the amount of $14,325 plus HST. So moved.
Seconded.
Okay, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And the other thing here, I guess, is the reminder for bulk garbage and cleanup, which will take place June 2nd to the 4th, and that'll coincide with the team cleanup. So the brochure has been in the mail already, so everyone take a look at that, and hopefully we will take care of everybody's bulk garbage concerns over that period of time and do some town cleanup. There is some work being done on speed calming on the Bauline line in relation to radar and recording of speeds. So I won't say much more than that right now, and hopefully we'll get some good information and be able to do a little better speed calming in that area, which has been controversial for some period of time. Other than that, I think that ends my report, Your Worship.
Any questions?
Can I have a comment, please?
Sure.
I just want to echo how fabulous it is to see the sidewalks progressing in town. I was out yesterday for a drive, didn't get out of the car, but I first am off the property in a week, and I got to tell you, I drove right through town, and to see the sidewalks going in, it's fabulous for children who are going to be coming in and out of school, and to be able to, for seniors who are out for a walk, or anybody who wants to be on the sidewalk and have a safe place where it's not washed out with the hills. It's just really great to see. So thank you to council for everything around that. And I also wanted to just ask a quick question. There was a question raised to me this week about the $25 fee for the bulk garbage. So is that something that we do through e-services? Like, can we just walk the public through how they could avail of that service? Because I think the question was asked of me and I wasn't quite clear, so I think it'd be nice if we could put it there for people so they can understand what the process is, if they have to register through e-service or to call the front desk of the town or how to go about doing that. Could we just give some direction there, please?
In prior years, when we offered that service, residents could come to the town hall and pay over the counter, and then the reception would notify Public Works for scheduling purposes, so we can promote the same process again.
Thanks, Don. And for payment, what options would be available there for that? Like, if someone had the $25, could they get a receipt for that, or should they do it through e-services? Just wanting to make sure we've got that clear for people.
Oh, yeah, no, we'll provide a receipt to them. It doesn't have to go through e-services. It can go both ways. We'll have it set up both ways.
Awesome, thank you. I really appreciate that, because that gives the clarification that I was asked about, and I wasn't sure the answer, and I didn't have time to send emails, so thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, I just got a couple of questions if I can ask. Great Pond Water Study saying there's an update scheduled in, is that when Wood were here, like, or is this an addition to this? Because I'm,
So the latest on the Great Pond study is that a change order was signed, and they're proceeding with the environmental review through the Department of Fisheries and Oceans.
yeah, no, because it just said in here that it was being scheduled in May with Wood, an update meeting. And the other one that I've got in here that I want to, love the pictures, by the way, the trails. Of course, I had to have a look at those. And the other one that I didn't realize that it was, I guess I was out there for a meeting there a while back, but have we received any pictures on the War Memorial Site Project and what that's going to entail? Because I was surprised to see that it'll be starting in May and it'll be done in phases. So do we have a concept of what that plan actually involves? I'm looking at Don, I don't know,
Yeah,
look at Don,
so-
look at Brian, but anyway.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
So the concept plan is in the package there, and that was
Okay.
shared back in, I think it was November month as well.
Okay,
So that's the plan that we're,
so it's going with the original
original plan there, yeah.
Original plan. All right, thank
There's
you very
one-
much. That's
one-
all exciting.
Yeah, one small piece being taken out of it there. Because where they got it located is actually out in the right-of-way for Torbay Road. So we're
Okay.
drawing that back, and we did have some budget restraints there too, so that's another reason we're sort of drawing it back.
Yeah,
For
I know,
for
it's
now.
just-
But that's nothing to do with the actual monument itself. There's two new
Okay.
monuments going in there as well.
Yeah, no, that's really good
Yeah.
and that it's taken place this year above
Yeah.
all years as well.
And like I say, we're scheduling it so that we get so much done prior to July 1st, and then after July 1st, they'll go,
It'd be nice to have it all done for
it'll
the
be all,
11th.
it'll be all done for November 11th, no doubt.
Yeah, excellent,
Yeah.
really. Okay, recreation and community services.
Let me get her open here. We met May 11th. Agenda items, number one, programs. There is community cleanup. Registration for the Team Up to Cleanup event will occur between May 16th and the 27th, and the event is scheduled for June 4th. June is Recreation Month. Staff are planning various events and initiatives to promote this and to encourage residents to get out and get active. Summer Day Camp registration for Camp T occurred on Wednesday, May 11th, with 435 registrants for 8 weeks of programming. Staff are planning day-to-day schedule for that program. With regards to facilities, the director has provided an update on various items as relates to staffing at the Common. Staff are also looking at implementing a work-alone policy for maintenance staff who work alone at various times during a shift. Torbay Common Gate, the director will look at dates when staff would need to be scheduled to unlock the gate in circumstances when the commissioners would have done so in the past. That'll be discussed at the next meeting on the 25th. The director provided an update also on both community gardens. With other things, childcare capacity funding program, the committee reviewed information on this program. Director will seek more information on what financial contributions would be required by the town for phase one of that program, if any. The EnviroFest 2022 funding. The town has been awarded $5,000 from Newfoundland Power to go towards Torbay Commons Community Garden. Director is working with the Economic Development and Tourism on this initiative. And the Summer Community Guide is working with the Communications Officer to develop a guide for the summer, events and services. So ends my report.
Awesome. Anybody got any questions for?
I have one comment. And it's around the locking of the gate common. And I know we've had this discussion over the last number of years since the common has been there. But I do know last year as well, there were situations when the gate was locked and people weren't able to get in. So I don't know if we could have a contingency plan in place, or, you know, I'm not sure what we do or how we do it. I know we've had concerns about vandalism and things happening there that, you know, are not good. The other side of it, we really want to make sure that people are able to take full advantage and enjoy that space and walk through. And I know for a lot of people in that area, walking through that space and the gates, we heard some feedback on that. So I'll just ask committee and staff to take that into consideration as we're planning for what's going to happen in the months ahead around the gates at the facility, and how do we maximize people's ability to use the facility. And if there is a situation whereby a gate gets locked or something happens and it's not open, what's our contingency plan if we don't have commissioners in place to call to come fix that? So just some points to think about as you guys are having that discussion. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Goss. Liaison committees, Atlantic Mayor. So next week, do you have the information on that, where Craig, where we're hosting the Atlantic Mayors Congress? Because I haven't seen anything on it yet that's gone out for
No,
council.
Working with the executive director of the Atlantic Mayors Congress to finalize the agenda. There were some changes as of Friday, so that should be finalized by Wednesday, and it'll be circulated to everyone. So at this point in time, we have 20 to 25 mayors from Atlantic Canada attending the meeting. This is down a bit from years prior due to FCM conference being held in person. It's the same weekend. So the agenda and all the appropriate invites will be sent to council by midweek.
Okay, thank you. Intergovernmental Affairs, nothing there. Jack Byrne, Regional Sports and Entertainment. Councillor Goss.
We have the AGM coming up this Thursday. It was postponed till this coming Thursday, so we should have some more information after that meeting.
Perfect, thank you. Joint councils, we had joint council meeting last Wednesday, and the next one will be the second Wednesday in June. RNC, nothing. Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, Councillor Manning.
Okay, the minutes are there, and these are the minutes from April 25th. Certainly there's been another meeting since. I think one of the biggest things, just to bring out of all of the Torbay Volunteer Fire Department, is that they are continuously doing their training, and that's well looked after. One of the other things is they're getting back to the Fireman's Ball, which is coming up on May the 28th, to get back to some kind of normal vibes again, I guess, for lack of a word, and you know, presentation of Fireman of the Year award and things like that. So I'm personally looking forward to it. And also too, like they're getting back into the regatta and things like that. So it's good to see things going back to some type of normalcy, and all the firefighters are all there volunteering and ready to do take part in all of that. So other than that, everything is there in certainly the minutes, and that's my presentation.
Thank you very much, once again. Urban municipalities, we have nothing to update since Mayor Scott is not here. No new notices of motion, because Councillor Appleby will bring that one back for the next Because I'm looking at that as not a new one, but it's one that it's already come forward, so we'll revisit that one again.
Yeah, if I could ask that that be added back to the agenda for May 30th, because the 30th of May is the deadline for the FCM nomination, and I'd really appreciate if we could get that back on the agenda for the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. And new business,
Excuse me, Worship, could I ask one question in relation to the M&L conference I was on? Are we getting an update from folks who attended the M&L conference, by any chance? Is there any plan in place for that? We all know we had talked about that being done for whenever we go on conferences and that there was something new we were gonna start. I'm just wondering if there's something in process for that, because I wouldn't mind knowing what was transpired.
I haven't thought about it, but you're right, we did say that was something that we were, yeah. So you can add that to the next. Okay, and Councillor Appleby for new business.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Couple of thank yous. Number one, it had to do with the M&L symposium, actually. As you all know, I'm the Vice President of M&L, and I've got to say it was a fabulous event. Big thank you goes out to our chair and our board and our staff for the work that they did. And also to the members who came and participated. There was over 200 people who represented there, and the vendors and the sponsors. And it was just so nice to be in person again, back networking and meeting with each other and having conversations. And you know, these virtual connections, and you'll see behind me, this is Torbay Harbour, and when I participate in virtual conferences or connections or meetings, I showcase what's happening here, but it's not the same as being in person and having that ability to step aside and have a conversation and build those relationships. So I think a big shout out and thank you to everybody who was part of making that an amazing success. And I'd also like to thank you, Deputy Mayor, and Councillor Politi and Councillor Tina Neary for the work that you guys did around the mental health project that was done as well. There's a lot of really good information in there, and I did get pulled out from some of it, but the information that I was able to take in I thought was absolutely fabulous. So thank you for your contribution there as well. I also want to do a shout out and say thank you to the RNC. Speaking about the speeding issues that came up in the report there with the Bali line, I often call the RNC and say, hey, can you send a truck, a car, or vehicle down here because there's speeding happening? And I've got to say they're fabulous. When, you know, they encourage us to call them and let them know when speeding is happening. And I can look out that window because my office here is facing the front of the house. And I will see someone from the RNC find their way down. So I just want to do a shout out and thank you to them. And the last thank you of the evening is to my ex-in-laws, actually. When you saw me waving, that was my son going to his basketball down at Torbay Common. And if it wasn't for his nana coming to pick him up today, he would not have been able to participate because Mom's here doing the public council meeting. So just a big thank you to Paul and Anna Manning for everything they do for my two. They're fabulous grandparents, and I really appreciate their ability to help tonight so Jake can get to basketball and I can be here with you guys. So big thank yous. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Councillor Appleby. I had a thank you there as well, and I want a big shout out to Miss St. Pierre, the grade 5 teacher up at the Holy Trinity Elementary. She brought the class down here on Thursday, and no, it was Juniper Ridge, sorry, thinking about the elementary, but it's not, Juniper Ridge, and it was a really good day with them. There was mock council meeting, and they had the 6 councillors and the mayor elected and deputy mayor, and we ran through basically one of our agendas, but the questions that they asked and the responses that came from sitting around here and the different students that took on the role of councillor, and I couldn't believe it. And we're not too far off, like some of them, and I couldn't believe, like, taking the budget and that into consideration, and it was a real eye-opener for me, listening to what probably 10 and 11-year-olds had to say and what they put forward. So thank you to the teachers, and more importantly to our CAO for organizing it with the school. And next year, we're looking at probably including and trying to get somebody down here as well from the high school, because this year we didn't really have enough time to get into, we weren't sure where we stood with this. But thank you to everyone involved in making that is a great success. And I don't know, Councillor Manning, you were there, if you've got anything to add to that, but.
Absolutely. It was an honor to be sat there just listening to those kids going around, questions, even the questions asked. And like farming, and like I was in awe on times. And as I went around the chamber and each elected councillor had their say on it, we have councillors now, some of those kids could come over and sit down and take my spot. Quite honest, I was so impressed. I'm so glad that I was able to make it. It was amazing for me, amazing.
Thank you very much, and thank you once again for all of you for being patient with me tonight as I get through this, my second attempt at it. So thank you very much to everybody. Any new questions? Okay. The next public council meeting is scheduled to take place on May 30th at 6:30 here in the chambers. And now I'll call for a motion for the adjournment of the meeting.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.